Satchel looked great. The setup, that Titantron setup looked amazing. The entrance ramp, everything looked so good. Zombie, oh dear, I dropped it. Now it's broken. December to dismember.
Oh, God.
Just that. We get it, Vince. You won, and then you lost. You're right, this episode was depressing.
Oh, God. I don't even know if I want to even touch base on this. We kind of have to touch it, though. About a year later, after the incarnation of ECW, who's the ECW champion at that time? Well, you kind of mentioned his name.
I did.
the man who won and yeah, one of the worst champions that I had ever seen. And I mean, he won in the best way possible for a heel, but the fact that his name is now on the list of ECW champions, good Lord. That just, if it was Umaga, okay, totally fine. Shane McMahon, acceptable. Vince McMahon, you might as well have just done David Arquette version 2. It just made no sense.
Well, hey, killed the show, so it kind of was David Arquette 2.
That's true. Yeah, and I think after that, it just didn't do much of anything. The ECW Championship was basically dead until, like, I think it was either CM Punk or I might argue with saying, Mark Henry winning it was probably pretty good. But, yeah, I do agree. WWE, ECW just, oh my gosh. I mean, there was so much potential that they had. I mean, we had an episode where we talked about this. And we talked about, how we would have rebooked things, how we would have changed things up, how we would have made it better than what it was. I mean, by leaps and bounds. But
hard.
But it's just one of those things where it's like, why? Why must you take something that we love and turning it into a big pile of crap? Thank you, Vince. You've really shown that you really care about the fans. Anyway, so final depressing moment in wrestling history. This one I kind of talked more about, and I kind of did a rebooking about, was the rebooking of Magnus's first world title, because, good Lord, there was so much potential with this guy. Finally, the United States had a champion that was of British descent. Magnus was an amazing guy. He had the look. He had the wrestling skills. He was awesome. I loved every single thing about it. He even beat Sting at Bound for Glory. There was momentum going into this. It's like, great. What are they going to do with him? They gave him the world title. Great. He's going to be a heel. Okay. We're going to pair him with Dixie Carter. Okay, whoa. Hold on. You want to bury him just before he even gets into a major deal. No, it's going to be great. He's going to be like this heel champion, and he's going to, have interference. What? Yeah, people are just going to come in, they're going to interfere, and cost his opponent the matchup. It's going to be like a big faction-wide deal. Wait. So he's barely going to wrestle. Yeah, it'll totally be fine. He's like a cash champion. He only wrestles when he really needs to be. Okay, who are some of his opponents? AJ Styles? You mean the guy who ran away with the belts after Bound for Glory and created probably one of the best storylines TNA had for a long time? Yeah, but he's going to just lose. Okay. Who else? Sting. Well, he had that match with Bully Ray, though. Oh, we're just going to give him a one-night-only thing. And we're also going to put his contract on the line. What? You're going to have him... So, okay, so there's not going to be interference. No, there's going to be loads of interference. But, just... okay. who's he going to lose it to? Some bearded guy by the name of Eric Young. I'm already out the door. Good Lord. There's so much potential with Magnus, and I don't blame him, just like I don't blame Roman Reigns for everything that goes on with him. I just blame the booking. Because you can make a great star with the right booking, and we've said this on plenty of occasions, but if you book them the wrong way, you're just going to look at this and think, why is this guy even a champion? Why is this guy even a big deal? They don't get that opportunity to really show that they are awesome, which Magnus was, and which, granted, a lot of people didn't think that he could be. Roman Reigns was definitely showing that he was awesome. I mean, for God's sakes, he had 2 back-to-back awesome match of the year candidates with AJ frickin' Styles. What more do you need from the guy? To battle with Rusev? No, shut up. Shut up. Just shut up. Okay? We don't need that. So that has been the depressing part, and probably the most depressing episode we could think of Beattie Club. You know what? We need to think of something positive. Yeah, the fact that this week is probably one of the best weeks of WWE in a long-ass time. It took you long enough. I actually want to get your insights on this, though. The ending of SmackDown with Bray Wyatt getting the victory over AJ Styles and John Cena. Oh my gosh, I just had a realization. He could make that claim now of being the guy who has beaten AJ Styles and John Cena in the same night. Not once, but twice.
There we go.
Bray Wyatt's on a high pedestal right now, so this is actually pretty awesome now that I think about it. But the ending of SmackDown, where Randy Orton came out, and it seemed like we were going to get maybe an RKO to Bray Wyatt, but he says, as long as you are the master and I am the servant, I vowed to not challenge you at WrestleMania. This left me with my head scratching like, huh? What? So, but what? What's going on? But your thoughts on this, how the way they ended SmackDown?
It was an ending. I'm not sure I really understand what they're going for with this. I mean, they kind of have to. I'm kind of in your boat. I'm confused.
This is one of the first few times where, there's a part of us that sees, the turn coming on Orton and Wyatt, but then there's a part of it that's like, well, maybe they're not going to break them up. Maybe they're going to keep them together for a while, which, all honesty, might do Bray Wyatt's more good than harm. I mean, pairing him up with, Randy Orton, it's lasted longer than his pairing with Daniel Bryan years ago. Jeez Louise. Another failed attempt by WWE to make something good, but then just create something horrible. But yeah, it is one of those things where it's like, it kind of scratches your head, but I look at it and I think it kind of makes me interested to seeing what happens. And Daniel Bryan made the announcement for next week's SmackDown that there will be a battle royal to determine who will be the number 1 contender for the WWE title at WrestleMania. Oh my gosh. Early predictions, who do you think is going to win? Wow.
Oh, man.
This is the first time I think I've actually heard you being completely speechless.
Pass. Who you got?
I could see it probably going one of two ways. I could see them throwing Luke Harper into the mix, and I can also see them throwing AJ Styles into the mix, because honestly, AJ versus Shane does not pique my interest, and a triple threat match possibly between Bray Wyatt, AJ Styles, and Randy Orton at WrestleMania. Yeah, I think I would I think I would love this matchup because of the fact that not only do we get AJ versus Bray, but we also get AJ versus Orton, and we get Orton versus Bray. It's an infinite loop of awesomeness. Please, WWE, just let AJ win. I want to see him go to WrestleMania because that would be awesome.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, that would just I would just be putting a bullet to my head after that night because there would be no topping that matchup. I would honestly say that'd be an early match of the year candidate right there if they did it. But I mean, not saying that, if they put in Luke Harper, that it wouldn't be. I think that Luke Harper would definitely, again, show that he is definitely high up there on the upper mid-card status, and who knows, this would probably make him solidified as the main eventer, which WWE has done a good job of that. SmackDown, I should say, has done a good job of that, of creating main event level guys. I mean, for God's sake, they made Baron Corbin look like a badass, and he's one of those guys who I look at and think, yeah, he could be WWE champion. He definitely could just roll through so many of these guys and just hold that belt like it was nothing and be like, yeah, I'm the champ. I knew it was going to happen. because Baron Corbin is Baron Corbin, and he is awesome. Oh, man. The possibilities this year are just endless. And I will say this. I know that they're going to plan a draft for June. I think they should do this, and please feel free to disagree with me on this. I think they should have the draft always happen the night after WrestleMania. Because basically, the night after WrestleMania is always like this, it's almost like a restart button, basically, where they just say, okay, we're going to basically, we're starting anew, we're completing the era that was last year, and we're starting something new here. And I think that'd be the best way to start a new era is, have new faces come to different shows and have some confrontations. Like I said, Nakamura and Lesnar, please and thank you, because that would be awesome. Yeah, I think that would just really shake the core every single year because then you wouldn't know what's going to happen the night after. And it would really make people hyped up for the night after WrestleMania. It's like, okay, we're basically getting, something great at WrestleMania. And then we're probably going to get something better for the Raw after WrestleMania. But I don't know. Your thoughts?
Honestly, that all sounds pretty much like gravy. I'd be down for all of that.
And yeah, it's going to be a very interesting year this year. I think that with last year, I think it was a little more predictable. This year is a lot more unpredictable than I could have ever thought it would be. No idea what's going to happen. No idea who's going to show up, especially with NXT, because, let's face it, NXT is awesome at this point. And SmackDown is just killing it. Raw, they're getting better, thankfully. But now they have to find a way to capitalize over the fact that Jericho is no more. So, looking forward to seeing what you do, Raw. Hopefully you get something good planned. Otherwise, yeah, you're going to have to accept the fact that you are not the flagship show. That you're probably the dinghy of the show now. Man. Alright, so that'll wrap it up for this first edition, and most likely will not be the last, of Beattie Club Friday. Thank you, Max, for joining me here. It has been partially depressing, but also very relieving to know the fact that this year is going to be awesome.
Oh, God, yeah. And hey, no problem. My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, as always, guys, you can always check us out on Twitter. You can check out Mr. Max Beattie on Twitter at Agent Cooper 1989, and also check him out on YouTube, Agent Cooper, where he does review videos, fantasy bookings, wrestling videos, anything you name, he's got. And hey, leave some comments below and give him some ideas that he could probably do. I'm probably creating more work for you than you probably need right now, but I think you need more content there, buddy.
We'll see.
All right, so of course, guys, you can always follow me on Twitter at NateFandGreat, and you can follow everybody else, especially if you're listening on iTunes as well as Spreaker.com in the description below. Yeah, next week is going to be pretty crazy. Of course, we got the Monday show with myself, and AJ Jensen.